Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
I'm in a hotel room, Laurie.
What country
You
are
are-
you in?
Oh, I'm in Canada. Hilariously, I will tell you the what happened in Canada, but I know what happened in the United States. Do you want to tell people where you're doing stand-up comedy? Because you know what? No matter what, we're going to be doing stand-up comedy.
Right. I mean, let's see. This weekend I'm in Oregon. I'm on Thursday I'm in Eugene. Friday I'm in Portland, and Saturday I'm in Bend. I'm
Nice.
really getting quite a tour of parts of Oregon I used to go to all the time as a tribble runster in my
Right.
comedy youth. And the weekend after, the 15th and 16th, I'm in Oak Park at the Comedy Plex. It's a suburb in Chicago. Chicago people know this, and it's a new club, and it's just 2 nights. Come on out for that because it's a new club, and we're trying to get some other clubs that book other people going to Chicago.
That's it.
We both been kicked out of a chain in Chicago, so please come to this club and let's prop it up. And in December, the 12th of December, I'm in San Diego. 13th and 14th, I'm in Chandler, Arizona. Both dates at the Mic Drop. They have 2 locations. 27th and 28th of December, I'm in North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, at the Dead Crow.
Oh, right.
Those are the rest of my 2024 dates.
All right. And we'll be back next week to update you as we go along. I kicked myself out of Chicago. So I'll say that. So I am this weekend in Vermont. You just did Vermont. I'm doing the Vermont Comedy Club. They've canceled the second show Friday unless we sell so many. So I'm doing Thursday, 1 show Thursday, 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And should be super fun. The 12th, I'm back in Canada, in Hamilton, which I've driven through twice on this trip. So it's not that far from Toronto. You say it's far from Toronto, but Courtney Gilmore is going to open for me, and she's great. So one of your own local heroes. And then on 14, 15, I think it might just be 15, 16 of November, I'm in a brand new club in Portland, Maine. So that one, support that if you're anywhere near Portland, Maine. And then let's see, I'm going to go see my friend Joe. I'm looking at my.
Why does your friend Joe always make our list of gigs, Jackie? I don't need to know all your little offshoots every single week.
Because Joe's living past his time in cancer. So the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of November, I'm opening for Maria in Rockford, Madison, and Milwaukee. And then the 24th, I come home, and then it's Thanksgiving, and I'm going to find things to be thankful for. So December, I'll tell you about it next week.
There we go.
Hello and welcome.
Yeah.
Here's what happened 2 nights ago at the hotel in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're from the States? And for the bartender at the hotel was like, "We're going to show the election here in the bar if you want to come watch it." And I said, "Really? Did you have the radio on during the Reichstag fire in 33?" And he didn't get it. Anyway,
well, maybe he was optimistic that there wasn't going to be a fire.
I think we were all optimistic. But I mean, there's nothing to be done except for to keep going. I mean, it would have been so cool. But the same 15 million people who didn't vote for Biden, I mean, who didn't vote for Hillary, didn't vote for Biden. I didn't vote for Harris.
Well, I don't know what you're saying.
Sorry, that's because I keep saying it. I keep saying it. I'm messing up my names.
Yes.
When Trump won, and he did, actually Hillary won the popular, and he won but he didn't get new voters. He has the same idiots that voted for him in 2020 that voted for him today. From what I've read, I didn't follow along because I don't think my heart could have taken it. So yeah. I went to bed and I woke up. Wow. So, and that's fine for me. But it's like not listening to their speeches. I only read the speeches because to watch the real time thing it makes it a horse race that I don't want any part of. But I
Mhm.
did just repost Phoebe Robinson's just sad, angry, ready to move on post, which I thought was very much glorious.
On
Former comic of the week
on
on Instagram.
on Insta. Okay, I'll check it out.
She's right on every single point.
All right.
But yeah, but people genuinely in the United States, and probably not just in the United States, hate women and people
Mhm.
of color more than they hate a rapist and a business failure and a reality TV show guy.
Yeah, it's real disgusting.
My sad thing is none of the ballot things passed in California. We're
I have-
still doing prison slavery.
Yeah, California got a little more of a lurch to the right. You know?
No minimum wage.
Yeah.
No, I was the affordable housing thing. I was like, wow, all right. I guess we fight on every single level.
Yeah,
After being sad and mad for as long as you have to be, people. I had someone text me and go, "Are you going to drink today?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'll help." That's always
was it,
once you play that tape through.
that wasn't Andy, was it? Is that how he texts you every morning? Fingers crossed, wife.
He did not. It's though my fellow Hero Forge buddy Kyle and ours Aldrin texted Andy and I, and I had to say, "Hey, I'm doing the Jackie and Laurie because we're doing it Wednesday morning because I didn't want any sort of in real time. That
Right.
2016 episode fucking haunts me.
It haunts
So
my son was there too, and he remembers it. He remembers.
yeah,
He goes,
he was a child.
He said, I was at a party and then everyone got sad.
Right.
We were at Tess Rafferty's house, you know?
Yes, we were, and I kept trying to be optimistic, which is why I don't follow along because I'm gonna be hoping for good while the numbers are against me. It's why I also shouldn't gamble or gambler.
Yeah. I just don't. I just feel like everything I was counting on as a human at the end of my life is going to be taken from me. You know. Well, they want to stop. They want to give Medicare to a hedge fund, which they
Right.
will, and a
Privatize.
hedge fund will plunder it and destroy it, like they do with everything they touch.
With the prison system, yep.
They want to. I don't know what their plans are for Medicare. I'm not really sure. But I was hoping to have good health insurance again when I was 65, and you know, you can't count on any of that happening now.
Nope.
You can't. Elon Musk has said he wants to crash the economy and start over, and that's you and me. That's not Elon. That doesn't hit those people. It hits a lot of us. I don't know. I'm just so worried, and
yeah, it's yeah. The thing about worrying is that it's not. I'm not saying don't do it because you gotta go through the feelings to get to the other side so that you can keep going. You know, I mean,
it's not
we're
a
all
feeling.
above ground.
It's not a feeling thing. It's a how do I survive? How does my son thrive now? You know, I mean, and he's like not even a targeted, you know, person in whatever Trump's going after. You know, he's a man.
Right.
But it's like how are these kids how are they gonna make money? How are they gonna afford places? How are they gonna live? How are they gonna get help? Like how is anything they're gonna do? They're gonna eliminate.
Problems?
Wait, let me just talk.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to worry. I'm sorry, I'm worrying. So
right, that's
they're
what I'm
going
saying
to
is that you get to
the I know I get to. They're going to eliminate the protection for pre-existing conditions, you know? That who doesn't that affect at this point? There might be 19-year-olds that can get healthcare easily, cheaply. And then everybody else, I've got a fucking stent the size of Texas in my body because of this aneurysm. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can I talk now? Is it time? Is it time for me to talk?
Well, I don't know. Were you resentfully waiting for me to wind up?
No, but I didn't want to step on it because I know you're worried, and I know that there's no reason not to be worried. But what I would say is that it much like all. Yeah, I woke up. I was sick to my stomach, and I was like, oh, it's like in 2016, I was scared. I did stand up about it. I eventually processed it and became very, very angry. And so where I'm at now is a place of still angry, obviously, and still worried but I've seen it before. We've all seen it before. And it's what it is it's sad and it's scary, but that can't make me stop. So I have to just sort of I woke up and I did affirmations, Laurie. I woke up and I listened to a meditation tape. I woke up and I had a diet. I shotgunned a Coke Zero. So, I
You
mean,
woke up and didn't check your texts. Where are you? We're in the studio.
right. I'm 15 minutes late for the studio because I thought it was 11 a.m. instead of 10 my time. So it's crack of dawn there. Did you get any sleep?
Yeah, I I have my Cheech and Chong gummies, and yeah, I
Oh,
did.
good for you.
It was an effective
Kyle?
method to utilize yesterday. Yeah, Jackie and I, or
Oh, was
Laurie and I were powered by similar goals.
Yes. So yeah, I read a romance novel, but sadly on my phone. So Chris passed away 2 weeks ago, and this is her Kindle, and I told
Aw.
Andy that I brought it with me, and he said, "Did you roll the body?" And I was like, "That seems a little dark."
What?
It's a D&D term.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "Why did you just grab all of the stuff that you wanted
Oh,
off of
okay.
her
All right.
body?" Yes, and I was like, "No, I just thought
Jackie, you
I."
gave it 2 weeks. Now that's an appropriate comment, like day of. But I think yes,
Well,
you're
and
within your
I
rights.
bought it for her this last year
Oh my
because hers
God.
died, so it's mine.
He's still grieving. Let him have it.
That's what I said. That's where I'm at the whole time this morning. Everyone's still grieving. I'm still grieving. But it's yeah, so the shows with Maria are delightful.
Mhm.
Yesterday we had lunch with Jeannie Asheray and her wife Nina. Oh, she is going to be on the new Starfleet Academy show, and that's shooting up here in Toronto. And she told me I can come back up and get a tour
Oh, neat.
of the set. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be so cool. And yeah,
So is she going to be? Does she have like a uniform? Is her character on the ship like a captain or something? She could have a Star
it's
Trek
Starfleet
uniform.
Academy, so it's like teen superheroes. It's all it's Hogwarts. It's essentially
Oh.
it's a school. It's X-Men Academy.
Oh, cool.
It's
So is she
Charles Xavier.
a
Yeah,
teacher or a professor or
she's a
something?
teacher. She's a
Neat.
professor, and I don't know if her character is out in the world, but let's just say she spends a lot of time in makeup. And
Oh. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
and
Wow.
Tig Notaro, they moved her over from Discovery
Uh-huh.
to Starfleet Academy as well. And Holly Hunter plays I think the principal or the Dumbledore.
Oh my God. I love Holly Hunter. That's great.
Yeah,
She had a
yeah.
TV series like 15 years ago that I loved. I can't remember the name of it. It didn't get picked up, but I was like, what? She
Oh,
played some cool ass Bonnie Raitt kind of lady. I don't know.
oh, really?
She's a cool ass lady.
That's cool. It's she might come to the show tonight.
Oh my God.
I know Holly Hunter and And well, Gina and Nina are supposedly coming for sure,
Mhm.
unless they get tired. I was like, if I shot for 12 hours, if I was on set for 12 or 14 hours or however long, I would go home.
Mhm.
I-
Yeah.
and she's been here for 3 months. July, August, September, October, November. No, almost 5 months she's been here.
Oh,
Yeah. And they've already picked up second season. So she's going to be back in February.
that's
So,
exciting.
yeah. And they brought
Well,
the dogs.
good
Very
for
exciting.
again, good for other people. Congratulations, other person, and your successful life. Good for you. I
Uh,
I'm sorry. I'm busy stamping out feelings of jealousy right now to completely and fully enjoy this moment, but good for everybody.
right, right. I so desperately want to be on Star Trek that that there was part of me that actually felt a little bit of that as well, where I was like, oh, I wonder if I get a tour, I would get to meet the guy. But
Yeah.
you know, you can't make it. You can only do your part and see if
Mhm.
anybody gives a shit. Run it up the flagpole
That's
and see if
basically
anybody
it.
gives a
Do
damn.
your part, see if anyone gives a shit. That might be a good that might be a good sticker for our Patreons next time if you
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
guys, we do real-time producing during the podcast. Um, well, I
The
was
show is
in
a living document.
and tell them what the sticker is that you're talking about
oh,
while
guys,
I write it down.
we have a
Yeah.
Patreon that it seems to get more and more necessary every day. And so for $5 a month, you get an extra bonus pod that we do with a former comic of the week, and our free Zoom shows. Jackie, we really need to schedule that. I keep pushing you, and I know you're very busy, but maybe there's a time where we can do one of our Zoom shows. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
$10 and up, you get stickers. Every 3 months, you get 3 stickers. So it averages out to a sticker a month. And what the $5 people get, $20 a month, you get 2 Jackie and Laurie notebooks we send to you immediately. We don't make you wait and prove that you're going to remain a $20 and up person. We trust you that you'll stay as long as you can
Right.
afford to. Plus everything else that the other people get.
And so join the Jackie and Laurie Patreon if you want. And then the Max Fun is something that we do with the umbrella. You know, you get a lot of bonuses for other shows as well, but you get bonus episodes of the Jackie and Laurie if you join
Yeah.
maxfun.org/join. And now I have a frog in my throat, so I'm going to cough.
Oh, good. This is my opportunity to speak, guys. It rarely happens on this podcast, so I'm going to dive right in. No, I had a very exhausting week.
Okay.
For not enough money, but for some money. But it made
Okay.
me, it's one of those weeks where as I'm lugging 2 suitcases, a backpack, and a purse up several flights of stairs in various trains, subways, airports, whatever,
Wow.
I was like, does Jim Gaffigan still do this? Like, does he still carry his own bags? I don't think he does. I think he calls the car comes, someone else puts them, maybe he does, puts them in the back, and he gets in and drives to the airport, gets a ride to the airport. That's what I think. But here's, so so Tuesday night, my son played the last polo game I would ever see, right? And they won. It was really fun.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so then I drove to LAX from there, and from Irvine, and I got a
Wow.
midnight flight to New York. When I sat down there, I had the row to myself. I was
Nice.
like, this is incredible. This means Kamala's going to win. This means everything's going to turn out, right? Because when I was choosing my seat, I'm like, oh, no one's in this row. And so let me grab it, right? So
You live in hope.
I buy a blanket from JetBlue. I had brought a pillow because I knew that I saw that this was with, and I checked right before I parked the car at LAX. I checked right before. I'm like, people don't usually change their seats like 1
Right.
hour before the flight. So I was like, I'm good. I lay down, put my head on the pillow, cover myself in a blanket. I'm like, this is amazing. This is as close as I'm going to get to mint.
Right.
I'm asleep. I feel poking on my feet. I don't know how much later, but all I know is I was asleep. The
Right.
flight attendant said, "I'm moving somebody into this row."
Bummer. You had to buy a blanket? What's that?
They sell blankets on JetBlue.
Okay. How much are they?
They're if you're a JetBlue credit card holder, which I think you know I am, they're $5.
And then do you get to keep it or do
Yeah.
you give it back?
I
Okay.
kept it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's of that story. That's the salient part for you is that I was able to buy a blanket, not that I was
Well, that you
woken
had
up
to buy a blanket.
and forced to
The whole there's
sit
so much
upright.
injustice for 6 hours.
Yes.
That is very sad.
Yeah.
Um
So that should have told me already that we were headed for dark times. That I did not heed that
Yes.
warning.
Right, that was your first warning.
Had had shows at New York Comedy Club, and the Stand for those 2 days. Very fun shows,
Mhm.
all good. Then Friday, I take a train. This is when I'm starting to carry tons of shit. Right, I take
Right.
subway to the train, take Amtrak to DC. Have a
Right.
really fun show in a brewery. I mean, it's an out of the way place to go, and you really do have to get people that want to come. But
Yeah.
it was sold out. Okay,
Oh, good.
we're
Well, that's
now
awesome.
were some of the tickets the family and friends of the opening acts? Yes.
That's okay.
Any single moms here?
Yes.
Yes. I'm the mom of the person that went up in front of you. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I got to work on my DC draw. And then, so so my Saturday show, 4:30 at Helium, right? So,
Oh, right.
but I got booked on a podcast. The One Funny Mother, she does this Dina Blizzard. She's a stand-up. She does a live podcast 5 days a week and sometimes on Saturdays. And she has a really
Okay.
huge
Wow.
reach. She started in the pandemic, and she's one of those people that figured that shit out. And so she offered to have a podcast that I could be on at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I had to take a 6 a.m. train to Philly.
In person.
Yes, it's
Wait.
in person. Yes.
And Philly.
Okay, so 6 a.m. So that means I'm up at 5, right? So what
Wow.
happens when I have early things? I can't sleep the night before. So even though
Right.
I got back to my hotel room, say 10 o'clock, I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
sleep. I'm so worried about missing. So
Yes.
I get no sleep. It's an all-nighter.
Oof.
Get on the train, do the podcast, and I'm starting to get the tingles and feel numb. How you are. So now,
Yep.
oh, and
when
by
you're
the way,
tired.
yeah. So
Oh.
they put me up at a hotel where the check-in's 4 o'clock. Shows at 4:30. So
Oh.
earlier in the week, I'm like, please make a note, please, to get me in. Please, I'm begging you.
Yeah.
And
Early.
so
Early check.
luckily, Dina, she does her podcast at her house. She has a beautiful house in the suburbs.
Yeah.
She just let me take a nap at her house. So I went into her. I mean, I had just met her, and I went into a bedroom, and I just fell asleep. I got an hour, which was enough to keep me conscious from shaking. And then she
Right.
dropped me off at the hotel, and they let me in. So maybe I don't think I napped at the hotel though. It wasn't enough time, and I was like, I got to get my brain.
Yeah.
So then do the show, and here's the thing: the show was really fun.
Okay.
Kirsten Michelle Sills opened up for me. She was a comic of the week a couple months ago, and she's cystic fibrosis, and it's terminal.
Oh, wow.
When she was born, I mean, basically the doctor said you're not going to live past 30. She just turned 30, so she has really fucking funny material about it. It's something she's lived with her whole life, and so it's just. She's really a special performer. She's goth. I mean, and she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall, gorgeous. And she goes up, and she's wearing an oxygen pack, and she's got those 2 little tubes that go up her nose. And she doesn't mention it for 10 minutes. And then she's like, all right. So funny, so funny. And Casey, the opener, was also very funny. And the opener is not his last name, but I can't remember his last name off the top of my head right now.
Okay, fair enough. First name's Casey.
Yes, and so and it was weird because it felt like I did good numbers for 4:30 in the afternoon on that weekend in Philly, where everyone's canvassing, all that, whatever. it felt like it would have been a perfect first show of the week, because during the show I was reminded, oh, Philly, yes. So I have to be
Yeah.
a little more aggressive here. And it would have been one of those,
Yeah.
I got it. So the rest of the week, I'm like, I would just be crawling out of my skin as soon as I got up on stage. I felt like it took me a second to get in their rhythm.
Yep.
But it was a really fun show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was it. And then I went back to the hotel room, and they had a robe. The hotel room had a black robe, which
I love a robe.
and black, they never come in black. So I wore
Yeah.
that all night, as you can imagine. And then took again, couldn't sleep because I had a train. Didn't sleep
Oh.
that much, but got to the train, took a train to New York, and then I had spots in New York that night.
Okay.
And then I had a 10:30 a.m. flight out. 10:30 a.m. seems like I have to remember that for
Seems
me to make it 10:30, I'm going to be up at 7. And if I'm up
right.
at 7, I'm not sleeping. So I had the worst amount of sleep just because of the different time changes and all that shit. And so maybe that's
Right.
why last night, despite that the world possibly is ending, I just took
There's
a
peril.
dummy and slept all the way through the night.
Good for you. Good
Thank
for
you.
you, because you're back home now, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or are you in New York? Okay, you're home. So I love that they had a black robe. We've been staying in Holiday Inn Expresses, and the first one. Well, the first one. Okay, let me back up. I was in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I did a coffee shop gig the night before my festival show, and the coffee shop gig was for a guy named Chris Nakis. I think his name is Nakis, and he just put out a new special. But it was in this incredibly cute coffee shop, and there were 40 people, and it was sold out. And I didn't sell merch because I only brought a finite amount of merch, and I didn't know if I was going to sell any in Canada, just because it felt, because it's always some theater with Maria, and she doesn't care. She's psyched if I do, but the theaters usually charge 15%. And the Canadian exchange and all this
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So Pittsburgh, I do the first show in the coffee shop. I only have to do 20, and I make pretty good money. Just sort of hotel money is what I made. And I didn't sell any merch because I was there and I had to go do it. And the next day, I'm wearing his shirt. Dave Stewart. He's running the from the Eurythmics. Dave Stewart that's a band, you guys. He has a shirt that has his name on it, and he runs this festival. Very funny, really, really good guy.
Mhm.
And I got one of their sponsors was a nail salon.
Oh
So he was
my
like,
God, Jackie, I've
will you
never
go
seen
get-
you look more feminine. This is incredible.
will you
Wow.
go get nails done? It's got the Rebel Alliance on it, Chris, Laurie. And because Chris Nakis. And then but Dave Stewart, he takes me to a famous breakfast place in Pittsburgh, and then he takes me to get my nails done, and then we go to a Barnes and Noble, and then he drops me off, and then he tells me what the show is that night, which I don't think I realized, which were, I think it was 8 local comics, all doing 5 to 10s, a 45-minute intermission, and then he would host a woman doing 15, very funny, and then me doing 45.
That's a lot of comedy.
All right. And so it started at 7.
Wait, how
I was
long's
going to
the
go up at
intermission?
9:30.
The intermission's
45.
What are people doing during this time?
Leaving. They're mostly leaving. But get this, other people are coming. They're showing up.
Okay.
Because and it was his first year doing it. Actually, the audience pretty much, as far as I could tell, kind of stuck around and enjoyed it. He was really great, and it was super fun. And so I stayed. He got me a hotel, and then I flew to Toronto. Customs was the easiest I've ever gone through Toronto in my life. It was because I did it all with there's an app, Canada app or something, and then I scanned my passport. My passport, by the way, I got a new passport. The new picture, I literally look like a serial killer. I look like Kathy Bates would have played me,
Jackie,
and it is so gross, and I have it for 10 years.
Jackie.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm-
didn't you pick the picture?
No, I just got the picture, and I just looked at it and went, well, that's not good. But I didn't really look at it. But here's what I was told. Never go to Kinko's FedEx office for the picture.
Well-
Always go to AAA.
Oh,
And that is what I was told. And I have AAA, so I could have gone to AAA. They said AAA cares. If it's a bad picture, they'll take another picture for the same $15. And it turns out I would have had a second $15 if I would have had my brain on straight.
sure.
And
I do hope that
yeah.
you are a serial killer, though, because I think people will start listening to our podcast over and over again, and that's when the royalty money comes in. They'll be listening for clues, and that's when I get rich.
It's well, so I come here. Maria has had a problem with her passport.
Oh my
And-
God, that was hilarious. What she had
Yes.
to do.
Yeah,
Tell.
well, and I don't think she has a problem. She just a friend. I think it was Amy Miller's.
She forgot
boyfriend.
she forgot her passport. She left it at home.
Yeah.
and I guess Scott wasn't able to help
Right,
to
and
do this.
and it was not long enough for FedEx to do an overnight. So, I almost forgot mine. It's nuts.
I
It was
know.
just sitting.
Canada. You forget.
You forget, and if it's a run, and I'm doing a 24-day run, I just so somebody flew to New York and handed it to her at midnight,
She
and
paid
then
them.
she got him a hotel room, and they flew back the next day.
I know.
And
Sweet
yeah,
gig. I would have taken it if I'd have been home. I would have loved it. 'Cause she probably flew them on Delta, right?
yeah, would have been some Delta points.
Nice.
And then, so then she got the rental car. We drove to the first gig. We get there. I think it's a Wyndham. We go do the show, and I bring the merch just in case. And they're like, yeah, it's 15%, but and my Square doesn't work because I can't switch currencies.
Oh.
So it's all cash.
Right.
But there was an ATM there, so I was like, all right. I mean, Maria's fans, who are also my fans, and I've been telling people all week, I'm like, I'm in Hamilton next Tuesday, and I've driven through Hamilton twice on this because the first night was
Yeah.
one place, the second night, and it's not that far. It's not that far. So
And it's my grandmother's birthplace, if that helps anyone decide to go see you in Hamilton.
sure. And who else was telling me that it was right by where they grew up? Oh, my friend Jess, who you don't know. And but
then launch into a 5-minute story about her, please.
right. So anyway, Jess lived in Turkey for several years and loved it.
I lived in
Okay,
Turkey
so-
as a child. Okay.
Right. She lived there as an adult, and I guess they make really good salads. She's vegan. So the
Should we take a
crazy
break?
thing is, oh yeah, we could take a break.
Okay.
What the heck? It's 33 minutes in.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do the comic of the week, Laurie.
Yes. No, originally I was
She's
like,
great.
maybe we shouldn't do one because what a horrible day. But you know what? As you said, life goes on, and
Yeah.
comics of the week need to be recognized. They don't wait. And
Nope.
so this week,
They're still doing stand up. Yeah.
Ms. Roz Browne,
Roz Browne.
Rowne. She popped up on my Instagram, and she's very funny.
She's great.
Yeah.
I know Roz.
Where does she
And,
live?
I can't remember, but you would think that since I just said that I knew her, that I would know that.
No, I
we-
wouldn't. I would expect you not even to recognize her if she was in this chat with her name under her face. That's what I would expect.
Right, because absolutely every single human looks almost like every other human. I don't know. Let me look. Let me actually Roz Brown her. Her IG is ROZBROWN. And
There's an
E
on that.
E.
Yeah.
Oh, got it wrong. Yeah, so she's just really smart and funny, and she's been doing it for a while, and
Yeah.
she's just good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Super funny.
I don't know where she lives,
And
but you guys don't need to know because she
yeah,
also
yeah.
has albums, and you should just buy her albums and
Yeah,
go see
stop
her.
stop
Does she have
stalking Roz Browne, okay? Leave her alone. Leave her. Stop trying to figure out where she lives and just go listen to her stuff and see her when she's in
and
town.
support her? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it. Great. So yes.
Oh,
So I want to tell you this story though about this because Holiday Inn Expresses are notoriously not great,
right.
and the one we're staying in right now is fine. But the one last night was attached to a bowling alley and an arcade.
I think you
And
like that, right?
I do like that. It's
Okay.
like it's the bathrobe of my dreams. And on the other side was a trampoline park that Maria was like, "Oh my God, there's a trampoline park on the other
Wow.
side," which she was psyched about. I didn't actually get to go play any video games just because it was late. But I went to look at it, and they didn't take money. They only took those cards, like Dave and Buster
Oh,
cards.
right.
And I couldn't. It was too big of a project. But they had like a Cruise in Space, which is a driving game that I've never seen. Cruising USA and Cruising the World were these sit-down arcade games that were so good.
Mhm.
And I bet you Cruise in Space is great, but I didn't get to do it. But that was the story of that Holiday Inn. Tonight, we're going to Richmond Hill, which is also outside of Toronto.
Mhm.
And I believe we're just staying in a Hilton property. So very happy.
Thank God. You know what? Several J&Lers came to both
Mhm.
shows and the Philly show. And I want to do a thank you to Cheryl W. I'm not going to say her last name just in case she's
Okay.
hiding that she's a fan of the Jackie and Laurie show. I mean, I think many people are. But she brought me a little gift. And
Oh,
I
nice.
just want her to know that some of that gift went to an amazing tip for housekeeping. Okay. Probably
Oh, there you
the
go.
biggest one day tip they've ever had. Right. And as I was leaving my room and housekeeping didn't know I'd left money, she said, are you going? I said, yeah. She goes, oh, you want a worder? Just water. And I
Oh,
was like,
water?
no, but you know what? I preemptively knew you would be cool. And so that's why I left you some money. And then I treated myself to, I didn't take a cab to JFK when I left,
Okay.
but I did take a cab to Penn Station, which cut at
Okay.
least 5 staircases that I
Set of
had to.
staircases?
Yes, at
Yeah.
least 5 of them. And so thank you, Cheryl, for that. And you are a good fan.
I got a trinket last 2 nights ago from a fan who he emailed me and he said, "Hey, are you gonna be doing a meet and greet at all after the show? Because I'm a Royal Canadian murder hornet." And
What? Murder Hornets.
I do
They're back. That's
yeah,
right.
right. I did. Remember, I do the
Yeah.
murder hornet joke about cops,
Mhm.
and so he's a Canadian Mountie.
Oh, okay.
And he said, "I have a trinket for you. It's not a spoon." This guy clearly has all of my albums. Aaron, thank you very much for listening because he referenced the spoon tattoo joke and he referenced the murder hornet joke, and then he
Wow.
gave me a very adorable refrigerator magnet with a Mountie on it.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. So
Yeah.
somebody on Instagram, I have to thank her, but she tagged me on some influencer chef's reel, and
Okay.
he used the word bananus while stripping a banana. And then all of his thread was full of people going, "Bananas, I've never heard of bananas. Oh my God." And I'm like, okay, I need to take you down. I'm gonna grab that reel
Do you have
and
a clip?
make
Yeah.
a reel, make a like stitch it and just go, listen,
Yep.
you can say it. I can't stop you from
Right.
saying it, but you have to credit me because I have checked before I invented this in the late 80s. There's no known human. I've looked through human history. There's no known
You've
word.
checked the IP on this.
Yes.
If you could buy bananus.com, would you do it?
Oh my God, I should. You know what? Kyle, don't post this until I look into it. Yeah.
Or Kyle, look and see if there is a banana.
Yeah, please. If someone's
.com.
already
I'm on
taken
that.
it. And if the,
And then when we leave, the first thing Laurie will do is run
I will.
to GoDaddy or whatever and buy
I
bananus.com.
will. I should make an entire website about this travesty. Okay.
Right. Well, I have family pet ancestry
It's
that
for
points to Jackie Kashian.
sale.
Holy shit. Okay.
Hoi!
Okay.
And just so you know,
Buying it immediately.
all right, it's going to take him at least an hour to put this together. Kyle Clark, by the way, our producer, our editor, he's a great guy. If you see him in real life, go to Kyle Clark is rad
Mhm.
and listen to his podcast and
Yay.
hand him a
Oh, yeah.
sweaty wad of 20s. Do all the
Sure.
things.
Sure.
Jackie,
Hooray.
or Laurie, I've listed the price for bananus.com in the chat.
Oh shit.
Or in our text thread.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a real bummer, isn't it?
Oh wait, I can't. Hold on. I'm
Oh,
looking
I
for
can't
it.
see
It is
it.
a 4-figure price tag.
Oh, okay. I don't make bananus.com money. I mean, sorry, not grabbing it. Oh well. What about .net? I wonder if
That's what I just looked up. I'm trying to
Okay.
find it.
.tv.
.gov, bananus.gov. Can I get
Org.
that, or do I have to be a federal employee to get that?
I
You
think the Gov you
you'd
need.
have
I'm
to-
trying .org, but it doesn't
Gov
seem
you
to exist.
Well, .org,
Bananus.org.
you would have to.
Yeah.
That's the nonprofit that gets bananas to
Mhm.
underprivileged chimpanzees. I'm riffing, you guys. Where are we at? Oh, okay. So, yeah, today we drive one more time, and then I have a crack at dawn out of here, where Maria's flight is much later than mine, so I'm gonna have to take a cab to the Toronto airport
Why did you do that
from
to yourself?
Richmond Hill.
Oh, because you have to go right
'cause-
to Vermont.
Yeah, I got to go to Vermont, and I have a show that night.
Jaqueline?
But Darla and the kid are coming to look at the
Oh, Bennington or
University of
Oh,
Vermont.
neat.
Burlington. Yeah.
Cool. Are you resting? It doesn't sound like you're resting, and I would encourage you to rest a lot when you can in Vermont, please.
Yes. I also have to do a Dork Forest because I did this week's Dork Forest is about Filipino American history.
Mhm.
Spoiler alert: we weren't great. So the but next I don't have an episode for next week, and I have to see if someone could do it sort of on the quick. And I've got a list as long as my arm, as far as people who want to do it. When will I have time to record it is the real question. So.
Oh, Jackie.
But I think I have I'm staying an extra day in Vermont, so I will have time. So that'll be good.
Oh, you are? Oh, man, I
Yeah.
wish I'd done that. What a waste.
Right, because because Monday I'm flying back to Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to stay overnight on Sunday.
Remember when I stayed an extra night in Marin?
Yeah.
And I was like, that cured me of wanting to live in Marin. Just that one day.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I need to get these dumb fantasies out of my head of that would be cool. Maybe I should, maybe an extra day in Vermont would have cured me from my Vermont fantasy.
Right. But Maria and I talk about it all the time about how everybody looks like they're happy and they have these amazing lives as you meet them and you see them walking around Canada. And then you're like, no, they have complicated lives underneath the fact that they happen to be at a coffee shop. I mean, they're not going to wear it on their sleeves.
Yeah.
So where we had lunch with Gina and Nina
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, Gina Yashray, and her wife was it looked like it kind of looked like Atwater Village. It looked like real hipstery Toronto.
Yeah.
And
Toronto's hella expensive. It's like I'm sure people were talking about it. It's bad.
It was it's a little bit maybe. All I know is that Tig Notaro is going to the comedy bar and doing sets.
Well, you were having lunch with TV stars, so maybe they're not going to talk about how expensive Toronto is, but
no, and plus I'm sure CBS or Star Trek or whoever is covering the cost of her living.
Yeah.
So they got to put her up in an apartment or something. So but oops, I know that Canada charges taxes on all of this stuff, so as well they ought. That's what I'm charged. So I charge for the hat and the t-shirts. I've sold out of t-shirts. I didn't bring that much stuff but I wish now that Andy would drop ship me because I'm about to go to Vermont and Portland, Maine, and then the 3 dates in the Midwest with Maria. Maybe I should get him to drop ship me
Yeah,
some more
maybe.
stuff.
Can I ask a question? Drop ship means
Sure.
ship, right?
It does. It means I'm not shipping it. It means somebody else is sending it to where we would then meet.
Okay.
It's a third location drop ship
Oh, I see. Okay.
instead of
Okay.
So it's sort of like TeePublic. Like if we had
Yeah.
merch on TeePublic, they would just send it direct.
Okay.
And it's nice. But so with the theater gigs, because they take 15% and because of the Canadian exchange, I had to charge $40 each
Wow.
for the t-shirts and hats.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, absolutely nobody blinked. And everyone was like, okay.
Okay.
So things are more expensive here, like lunch. Lunch is always at least $30.
Yeah, right.
So things are a little more expensive here, but I don't know. And then I have a not a sweaty wad because I don't know if you've seen Canadian money in your mind, but it's plastic. So
It's
I have
slippery.
and so when I exchange it when I leave, I'm trying to figure out the best place to exchange it. Like, is it better to change it at the hotel? Is it better to change it at the airport in Canada, or is it better to change it at the airport in the U.S.?
I think it's, I don't know. Check your bank. I think your bank will probably have a better rate than anything at the airport.
Oh, Maria's got a new joke about how she goes into her bank, and she's like, "Does anyone here ever go into their bank?" Crickets. And my bank doesn't even have a brick and mortar,
Oh, okay. All right.
so I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
And they hate Canadian check.
Okay. Wow.
My business account won't take them, and the joint account for Andy and I, which is a credit union, they will take them, but it takes 6 to 8 weeks to
Oh my God.
process. Yes.
All right.
Good to see.
Let's
Hey, let's do another break. Let's do another quick break.
okay.
All right.
I might have to get off early because I have to take my full adult son to school.
Right.
I mean,
that's
like,
right, because these last months he's fully 18.
He is, and but does not have a driver's license, and also we only have one car, so he wouldn't be allowed to take it. And he could walk, but you know, I like to be his mom when I can be.
It's true. It's
So
true.
I
You're
actually
living it up.
have like 3 minutes to,
Oh,
because
wow. So, you guys, we have an ad. That's going to be a clock eater. We got the intro. That's a clock eater. There might be an hour in this gig.
there isn't,
right? In
but
this
that's
particular
okay.
episode.
This is our new reality. Trump will be back, and we will do 48-minute podcasts in response.
I look forward to calling him Captain Knobjob forever.
I never want to hear.
And
I just thought we would be over this, and the fact that Melania is going to be back in the White House with that fucking face of hers, and now Barron is like this 7-foot-tall auto robot that's getting his dad on these podcasts. That may have been the last minute swing to him. It's
can't tell. Can't know.
we'll figure it.
It
We'll
is
find
weird.
out, but you know, it's just so bad.
What it is. All you got to do is we just got to fight on the ground. We're fighting from just a disadvantage. If she would have won, we still would have had to fight. But we would have been from a place of credibility in a better place. So, of course, enormously disappointed. But just can't. I can't give up. I won't give up. They don't get to fucking take my hope. They don't get to make me crawl into a bottle and shoot myself in the head. You know, it's not how I'm going to live my life, because then they win that too. So fuck them.
You're here.